Even if you don't follow the ins and outs of recruiting, if you're interested in college football enough to read this fine blog of ours, you've probably heard of Elite 11. It's an annual gathering of, you guessed it, 11 of the nation's best quarterback recruits each summer at Nike's headquarters in Oregon. Only the elite of the elite of the elite high school prospects are fortunate enough to appear at Elite 11 once, but Chase Griffin somehow managed to make it to Elite 11 3 times, by the time he was 13 years old. So determined to become a successful quarterback was the adolescent Griffin that he caught the eye of popular quarterback trainer George Whitfield, which led to a gig setting up cones and fetching errant balls for the likes of Johnny Manziel, Braxton Miller and Everett Golson before they were household names. I can tell you, from the neck up, HES on what I would call an accelerated program, Whitfield said at the time. He is really getting a chance to understand the office of the quarterback. Though Griffin was devoted to becoming the best football player he can be, his interests spread far beyond the gridiron. Here's how Max Olson's 2014 profile of the 13-year-old Griffin began. Round Rock, Texas. Chase Griffin is a 13-year-old prodigy in every sense of the word. He's a 99th percentile test taker and chamber orchestra violinist who's already plotting to one day run a water purification startup, then maybe run for president. Fast forward 4 years and Griffin is now a 17-year-old rising senior at Central Texas Hutto High School, where he starts for the Hippos as a consensus 3-star recruit. Griffin is slight at 5'10" and 186 pounds, but isn't willing to let a slight obstacle like size stop him from living his dreams. I feel like through Wall Street a lot of good can be done and a lot of good change can be done because of the amount of power and money going through, Griffin told 247 Sports on his plans to major in economics in college. If it's positively affected by well-meaning morals, then the world can be changed for the better. On Friday, Griffin committed to UCLA, choosing the Bruins over a slew of Ivy League offers. We didn't really talk about football for the first 20 minutes in his office, Griffin told The Athletic. We're talking about economics and certain films about Wall Street, Too Big to Fail and The Big Short, and then it transitioned into football. He was telling me how they go through a certain checklist, transcripts, attendance, film, meeting you in person, seeing you throw live before they offer. And right after that, he says that's why we want to offer you a scholarship, and we kept talking. Michigan has played on uncolored end zone since the Big House was the size of AS. But that's about to change. The football program's official Twitter account on Friday pushed out a teaser image of crews installing new, blue turf inside Michigan Stadium's end zones. As you can see below, it's like the green-colored turf, but blue. The program also offered this Photoshop image of how the finished product will look. Maize and blue is one of the best color schemes in circulation, trailing only the red, white and blue in this expert's opinion. It's a combination that's hard to screw up, and Michigan didn't. As it turns out, Nebraska doesn't have a stranglehold on multiple player movements this offseason. On his personal Twitter account Thursday night, Malik Barkley announced that he will be transferring from Arkansas. I have thought about this decision many times with my parents, Barkley wrote, and it was very tough knowing where I came from and where I am now. It's a blessing to even be here. Barkley, a 3-star 2017 signee, began his Razorbacks career as a running back before moving to wide receiver this offseason by new head coach Chad Morris. This offseason, he took a redshirt to his true freshman. In addition to Barkley, 4 other UA players have transferred this offseason: tight end Will Gragg to Pitt, tight end Jake Hall to SMU, defensive back Corey Hernandez to Iowa Western and safety Reed Miller to Montana. Additionally, center Zach Rogers opted to give up his football career to pursue a job in law enforcement. Jaron Harris' up and down sports roller coaster will, not surprisingly, send him hurtling on yet another trajectory. By way of NJ.com, MLB.com's Jonathan Mayo is reporting that Harris has signed a contract valued at $215,000 to play baseball for the San Diego Padres. Harris was selected in the 7th round of the June 2018 Major League Baseball draft by the Padres. While Harris had the option to continue playing college football for Rutgers even after signing the contract, he has instead opted to embark on his professional career. Harris, Rutgers' leading receiver 2 years ago, was suspended for the 2017 opener because of an unspecified violation of team rules. In May of this year, Harris was suspended for 8 games by Ruth's baseball team that was actually Harris' second suspension while playing the stick and ball sport at the university, as he was benched for 2 weeks back in 2016. Speaking of 2016, Harris led the Scarlet Knights in receptions 39 and receiving yards 481 at his 3 receiving touchdowns were second on the team. Last as a redshirt sophomore, he moved to defensive back. He started 5 games at safety, and tied for the team lead in interceptions with 3. Walter Brady's on the move again. Hoping that the third time will be a charm, Brady took to his Twitter account earlier this week to announce that he has asked for and been granted a release from his Middle Tennessee State scholarship. The defensive end wrote that he leaves MTSU with the intentions of continuing my dream of competing at the highest level in college football. pic.twitter.com/8L7RoopC 56 Night Part Alternation Mark Aries at Grind 410 June 13, 2018. Unlike the first time, Brady will be leaving this program as a graduate transfer. Brady began his collegiate playing career at Missouri, where he started 9 games as a redshirt freshman in 2015. His 7 sacks led all freshmen nationally, while his 12.5 tackles for loss were tops amongst that class in the SEC. For that, he earned consensus freshman All-American honors. In very early August of 2016, Brady was dismissed from the Missouri football program for what were described as violations of unspecified team rules. Shortly thereafter, although unbeknownst to most, Brady transferred to MTSU. After sitting out the 2016 to satisfy NCAA transfer rules, Brady started 9 of the 10 games in which he played for the Blue Raiders last. His 3.5 sacks were tied for third on the team, and helped the 6'3", 267-pound lineman earn honorable mention All-Conference USA honors. An unspecified injury sidelined Brady for all of spring practice this year.